Money's tight now, so when you decide to spend it, you want to get what you pay for. But what if you don't get what you pay for? Do you scream, call and complain, or just take it? Maybe there's a better idea.
I can do a dog or a cat or
Kelly Dean makes money dressing up as a clown and doing parties for kids.
Oh, there you go, darling.
Because scheduling those parties is complicated, she wanted a BlackBerry.
So we'll do games.
So she went to T-Mobile, where a clerk talked her out of a BlackBerry.
The lady kind of convinced me to get this T-Mobile Dash. She, spoke very highly of it, said it was a really good phone, that it's got all the things that I want, which it did, but it also doesn't work.
The alarm won't shut up.
So this is what I get to hear every morning on my day off. So I was basically talked out of the phone that I wanted and stuck with the phone that doesn't work.
Eventually, the store gave her a replacement phone, but it has the same problem.
So this is my second Dash, and 4 days after I got it, the alarm started going off again.
Kelly is one of 5 people we met with 5 gripes about 5 products. Bruce Key spent $10,000 on central air conditioning from Sears.
It ran perfect for about a month and a half, and I've had problems ever since. The compressor goes bad, the fan goes bad, the thermostat goes bad. It blows hot air one day, it blows cold air the next day.
He complained to Sears, which sent repairmen to his house, but they couldn't solve the problem.
They fix one thing and something else goes bad. Now, I have a 10-year contract with these people. This is just the first year, so you mean to tell me I gotta live my next 9 years with Sears going through this aggravation? I'm already gray.
I just want a machine that works.
Ben Binsfeld went to GameStop and spent $500 for a Sony PlayStation. But when he connected it, he couldn't play any games.
Hooking it up again, and I get absolutely no signal.
When he brought it back to the store, a clerk said,
"The serial numbers don't match. We can't do anything for you. We normally call the cops in this situation."
But he hadn't stolen the PlayStation. It wasn't his fault that the numbers didn't match. He had the receipt, but GameStop wouldn't budge.
I want personal choice cruising. Princess.
Mike Cirillo's mad because he and his wife paid $4,000 for a Princess Caribbean cruise. But then the ship didn't spend as much time in port as advertised.
It matters a lot because in each port is where you're doing most of your activities.
He complained.
Princess's response is that it is their right to change the itinerary at any time without giving explanation.
I'm very angry at Sleepy's.
Finally, Barry Silverstein's angry because Sleepy's charged her $3,000 for this adjustable bed. But the back doesn't stay up.
So what do you do if something like that happens to you?
Bruce Silverman says he's discovered there's one secret that helps get results. Write a letter to the boss of the company.
Most companies actually want to do the right thing. Most companies care about consumers. That's how they stay in business.
Silverman's the author of How to Complain for Fun and Profit. And he says when he complains, he nearly always succeeds. He sends complaint letters to the boss.
Do they read it?
I think their assistant will. And assistants in big companies like that have immense power. They can pick up the phone and call somebody and say, take care of this.
So we tested his claim. We posted this notice on these consumer websites and found our group of unhappy customers.
I'm just so frustrated that there's just no answer.
I still have the same air conditioner that doesn't work ever since June.
Silverman debriefed the complainants.
Were you talking to Sears during this time?
Was I? I talked to Sears so much that I got tired of talking to him. I had my wife to talk to him because they made my blood pressure go up.
Companies want you to go through their official channels. Forget that, says Silverman. Don't call customer service. Don't go to the website. It's a waste of time, he says, that'll just make you frustrated. And frustrated consumers often just take the loss.
They give up.
They give up.
They spend time on the phone, or they may go back to a store or something. They don't get satisfaction, and they finally throw up their hands.
I would think a letter isn't going to make a difference.
Well, I think letters can make a difference. A letter, not an email, a real letter.
When they do write, consumers often write the wrong thing.
Yes. In essence, being angry. By complaining, by whining. By
You disgusting,
you
horrible.
terrible company. Well, if you were having a conversation with a human being, that wouldn't work. So what I always advise, it's just called praising with faint damn. I start the letters by saying, I like your company, and you've let me down.
So Mike should say to Princess Cruises,
we really love traveling with you, but we also want to get what we pay for.
be clear about how they can solve your problem.
Tell them exactly what you want them to do for you. Don't say, I want compensation. Tell them what you want that compensation to be. Maybe a month of free service?
Okay,
What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I think you ought to refund my original purchase and give me the new PS3 as a goodwill gesture.
All right.
Silverman keeps his letters brief and often underlines parts or uses all caps. Some of our complainants thought his letters were corny.
I thought it was kind of silly, and I thought if I were to write a letter, I thought it would, it needed to, be very professional and kind of uptight.
They called your letters corny.
They could be corny, but they work.
I really didn't think I'd get a response, but I did. So
Kelly was one of our winners.
For me, at least.
As Silverman predicted, an assistant to T-Mobile CEO responded to the letter. He called her and gave her a discount on a new BlackBerry.
I felt that was very fair. And they let me keep the Dash, too. So now I have 2 phones.
The other results were mixed, but still interesting. It took 2 letters and 5 months, but Ben finally got a new PlayStation. Mike, however, got a letter from Princess that said, in essence, too bad. Hours in port can change, and Princess shall not be required to refund any portion of fares. Barry wanted Sleepy's to give her a brand new bed, so she wrote the boss. He appears in Sleepy's commercials.
Guaranteed lowest prices.
Sleepy's told Barry that since she'd bought a floor model marked as is, she was only entitled to either another floor model or a store credit. After writing a second letter with Silverman's help and filing a complaint with her credit card company, Barry got a new bed. So of our complainants, Silverman's letters helped Barry, Kelly, and Ben. But not Mike. And what about Bruce Key and his air conditioner?
Still no response from the letter that we wrote.
Bruce didn't get what he wanted.
Bruce hasn't gotten what he wanted yet.
And sure enough, months later, and only after we wrote Sears, did Sears bring Bruce a new air conditioning system. Of course, now it's winter. Well, he'll use it next summer.